Hey, my dear students, hope you guys are all doing good. Hope you guys are all perfectly fine. So, I hope and wish that you guys have given your examination in a very good manner. So, now let me have a quick review of the GST paper of today and we will try to solve the MCQs here. So, overall, before I start explaining the MCQ part and all, if I give you my overview of the entire paper, yeah, it was moderate paper, not so difficult and not so easy. Some things are little tricky, some questions are little tricky, some points are little tricky there, but yeah, manageable. With a reasonable effort of preparation, the paper can be manageable to some extent, but I'm telling you, not that straight away easy. A few tricky points are there. I do agree that few tricky points are there, but minimum marks you can easily score it. So that was my feedback on this question paper. So having said that, let us have a quick overview. First, we will start with the case scenario based MCQs. See, one case scenario based MCQ was a little bit easier, not that complicated, but in the other case scenario, they have included certain important details. Right. So first, let me start with the case scenario. So here I have one question. So here the amount they have supplied some printing materials to government departments or authorities, and in that case, what will be the amount of TDS? They are asking you the amount of TDS. So guys, as we all are aware, if you made supplies to specified recipients where the value of supply under a contract exceeds 2,50,000 rupees, and while calculating that value, you have to exclude the GST part. So where value of supply under a contract exceeds 2,50,000 rupees, then then TDS will become applicable, right? So first, if you see various kinds of printing material they have supplied. First, one thing they have supplied to Telangana State Agricultural Department for an invoice value of 2,60,400, which is inclusive of GST. So if I calculate the figure, which is exclusive of GST, which will come to, so if I do that calculation, it will come to 2,48,000. 2,48,000. Since the value of supply under a contract excluding the taxes is less than 2,50,000, here TDS will not become applicable. Second case, so they have supplied to UPGST, a state GST department for an invoice value of 2,80,000 inclusive of GST at the rate of 12%. So if I calculate here, what is the figure exclusive of GST, I will get exactly 2,50,000. But TDS will become applicable only when the value of supply under a contract exceeds 2,50,000. Here it is exactly 2,50,000. Here also TDS will not become applicable. Now comes the third point. To Delhi Transport Corporation, government-owned transport corporation, which is located in Union Territory of Delhi, to its central stores located in Ghaziabad in the state of Uttar Pradesh for an invoice value of 2,97,360. See, here there is a tricky part. In TDS chapter, we have seen one point. In one case, TDS will not become applicable, where the location of the supplier and place of supply fall in one state, which is different from the location of the recipient, then TDS will not become applicable. So in the given case, the location of the supplier is Uttar Pradesh. Here, the place of supply is also Uttar Pradesh. Why? Because the place where the goods, in case goods involving movement, wherever the transit is coming to an end. So location of the supplier and place of supply both are in UP, whereas the location of the recipient is in Delhi. So since the location of the supplier and the place of supply both are falling in one state, which is different from the state of recipient, in that case, what will happen is, in that case, TDS will not become applicable. So here, even though the value of supply under a contract might have exceeded 2,50,000, but this case also TDS will not become applicable. So hence here also TDS will not become applicable. So in all the three cases, TDS will not become applicable. So the amount of TDS which is required to be deducted is nil, zero. Next. Now they talk about what is the maximum time limit available for declaring details in the credit note. So guys, as we all are aware, the maximum time limit for declaring the credit note details is 30th of November following the end of the financial year, or the date of filing of the annual return, whichever is earlier. And when I say 30th of November following the end of the year, 30th of November following the end of the financial year in which supply has been made. So if you see here, the supply was made, the initial supply was made on 31st of March 2024. So if you see here, in the month of September 2024, company found that while issuing an invoice to the company erroneously charged a higher value by 52,000. Such invoice was given in 31st of March 2024. That means this supply was made in the financial year 23-24. 30th of November following the end of the financial year will fall on 30th of November 2024. Whereas the date of filing of the annual return is 15th of June 2025, whichever is earlier. So the maximum time limit for declaring this credit note in the return will be 30th of November following the end of the financial year in which supply has been made. So 30th of November 2024 will be the date within which within which credit note details are required to be given. So 30th of November. Next one. Few more details here. Now they talk about temporary registration. The company did not opt for registration. The proper officer of the GST conducted an inquiry, and he granted the registration on temporary basis on 21st of January 2023. See, 21st of January 2023, temporary registration has been granted. In case of suo motu registration, within 90 days, you have to submit an application. So if I calculate 90 days, in January total 31, if you take out 21st, so 10 days in the month of January, then February 28 days, then we have in March 31 days. So till now if you calculate, 69 days are over. 21 days more we have in the month of April, which will fall on 21st of April 2023. So 21st of April 2023, on or before this date, you have to apply for registration, or either you can go for appeal also, but they are asking you within what time registration is required to be applied. So on or before 21st of April 2023, registration is required to be applied. Next one. So coming to the next question, we have one straightforward question. Nilanchol Chamber of Commerce organized a business summit. Safal Private Limited, a registered manufacturer of ready-made garments, sponsored the summit and paid a sponsorship fee of 1,50,000 to Nilanchol Chamber of Service. See, this is a sponsorship services. As we all know that sponsorship services provided by other than body corporate to a recipient who is a body corporate or a partnership firm, it will get covered under reverse charge mechanism. So in the given case, Nilanchol Chamber of Commerce, they are providing the sponsorship services. Who is the recipient? Safal Private Limited is a recipient. Recipient is a body corporate. So this 1,50,000 will get covered under reverse charge mechanism. So on this 1,50,000, being the recipient, Safal Private Limited will be required to pay the GST under RCM. Next, Mr. Godbole, an independent director of Safal Private Limited, provided the taxable services worth 40,000 to Safal Private Limited in the capacity of a director. The total value on which Safal Private Limited is required to pay GST as per the provisions applicable till 28th of January. So on what value they are required to pay GST? On both the values they are required to pay GST. Why? Because directorial services also will get covered under RCM. So 1,40,000 and this 1,50,000 and 40,000, on total 1,90,000 they are required to pay the GST under reverse charge mechanism. See, even in the sponsorship services also they are recipient. Director services also they are recipient. Both are getting covered under reverse charge mechanism. So in both the cases RCM will become applicable here, right? So 1,90,000 RCM you are required to pay the GST. Next one. Mr. Anant, an unregistered person, rented his commercial building to ABC & Co, a registered partnership firm, under GST in the state of Tamil Nadu. If you pay close attention, this will get covered under RCM. Renting of immobile property other than residential dwelling provided by an unregistered person to a registered person will get covered under RCM. The firm paid the rent on 29th of November, whereas the invoice was issued by Mr. Anant in advance on 25th of November 2024. The time of supply for the purpose of payment of GST for the above transaction will be what? If payment is entered in the books of accounts on 29th of November. Okay. So let us try to understand it. So what will be the time of supply here? See, here they are talking about reverse charge mechanism. Here they are talking about RCM. This service will get covered under RCM, right? Yes or no? Yes, this service will get covered under. See here, if you pay close attention here, this is a service covered under RCM. And in the case of RCM, as we are well aware, in the case of RCM services, time of supply will be date of payment, in the book date of payment, or the date on which 60 days following the date of invoice given by the supplier here. See, if you see here, the supplier has given the invoice on 25th of November. So from this date, we have to calculate the 61st day. Definitely, it will fall at a later point of time. Then payment was debited. The payment was debited on 29th of November. Whereas this payment is also entered in the books of accounts on, the payment is also entered on the books of accounts on 29th of November only. So 61st day from the date of invoice or the date of payment, whichever is earlier. So here, this date of payment is earlier. So 29th of November 2024 is going to be the answer here. Clear? Next one. Let us come to the next part. So here comes the lot of difficulty. Here so many judgmental things are involved. So here I will give a hypothetical answer for this case scenario. So I will tell you why. Okay. So there are some advanced provisions which we will learn at the CA final. There is a linkage with a few concepts here. But still, I will try to keep the discussion from the CA inter perspective. Let us wait for the suggested answer, but I will give you my point of view. Okay. So Mahadev Housing Society is registered under GST in Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh. The society has in all 200 flats and 20 shops as under. And in A block, they have 3 BHK flats of 50. In B block, they have 4 BHK flats of 50. C block 3 BHK flats 50. D block 4 BHK flats 50. And in E blocks, shops we have 10. In F blocks also we have shops, 10 shops we have. That means totally 3 BHK flats we have 100, 4 BHK flats we have another 100, and the shops we have 20. Okay. So now what is the maintenance fee collected? So from each unit they are collecting the maintenance fee. So from 3 BHK flat 8,000 rupees, from 4 BHK flat 10,000 rupees, and then from shops they are collecting 7,000 rupees. Okay. Now here when it comes to 3 BHK flat and 4 BHK flat, they are also collecting municipal taxes that you can exclude it. So here 1,000 they are collecting and 1,500 they are collecting from a 4 BHK flat. So here 7,000 rupees effective excluding the municipal taxes, 7,000 here 8,500 from 4 BHK flat, 7,000 from a shop. So now what are the questions which are getting tested? See, apart from that, they are also giving some other details. 75,000 the society has received interest. This is anyhow exempted. This is exempted. Interest is exempted. 4 generators each costing 1 lakh were purchased from a registered supplier for power backup of the blocks, of which 2 were installed for 3 BHK blocks, 2 are installed for 4 BHK blocks. See, first thing, while calculating that monthly maintenance charges for 3 BHK flats it is 7,000. For 4 BHK flats, it is 8,500, which has exceeded 7,500. So here it will become taxable. This 8,500 will become taxable. And these are exempt supplies, right? So these are all exempt supplies. Now you all will get it out. Sir, it is shop, no. But if you literally read the provision, they say that the services provided by way of a residential welfare association to its members, they will say. Now, whether the member is a commercial property owner or whether the member is a owner of a flat, that they are not so specific. In the exemption, when you read it, what does the exemption read out as? In the exemption, they say the services provided by a residential welfare association or a housing society to its members, they will say. Where the maintenance charges are up to 7,500 rupees, it is exempted. They did not specifically make a mention the member should be a residential flat owner, the member should be a shop owner. They did not specifically do that bifurcation. So this is what my point of view, and even there is no specific clarification regarding this. So if we literally go by the exemption, they say that services provided by a residential welfare association to its members. Now who is the member? Who is bothered? Whether he's a owner of a flat, whether he's a owner of a shop, that they did not specifically do anywhere bifurcation. So if you go by that logic, even the 7,000 rupees collected from the shops is also below the limit of 7,500 rupees. So that is also exempted. Only this 10,000 they have collected in total. Now from this 10,000, you have to exclude that 1,500 rupees of property tax, whatever they have included in it. So if you take out that, the balance will come to 8,500 into 100 flats. So total the taxable value will come to 8,50,000. On this the GST is 9% and 9%. So if I calculate that 9% and 9% of GST, it will come to 8,50,000 into 0.09, which will come to 76,500 rupees of CGST, 76,500 rupees of SGST. So this is what my point of view. Why? Because if I literally go by the provision, so this is what you will find it from member, they will say. However, they did not do the bifurcation whether that person is a owner of a flat or owner of a commercial shop. So according to my view, the answer should be 76,500 and 76,500. I have searched, there is no circular clarifying this matter also. So according to the general provision, the GST liability should be 76,500, but let us wait for the suggested answer on this. Then, and apart from that, so now if you come to the inputs, so they have purchased 4 generators, 2 are installed for 3 BHK flats, 2 are installed for 4 BHK flats. See, whatever generators installed for 3 BHK flats, for that we can't enjoy GST, input tax rate. Why? Because that generators are getting used for making outward exempt supply. Whereas 2 generators are used for 4 BHK flats. So that for that we are paying output tax liability. On that 2 generators we can avail input tax credit. So total 2 lakh rupees. Each generator 9% CGST, 9% SGST, which will come to 18,000 CGST, 18,000 SGST. Next, apart from that, pipes and other sanitary costing 25,000 were purchased for block A. So pipes they have purchased for block A. For block A is a 3 BHK flat. From that, whatever services are getting supplied, they are exempted. So on that, you can't avail input tax credit. So you will be able to avail input tax credit only on the generators, that too only on 2 generators. So you will be eligible for an input tax credit of 18,000 rupees of CGST, 18,000 rupees of SGST. Then comes the next question. Here is where all the complication lie. So I am also eagerly waiting for the suggested answer, but let me show it to you what they are trying to say here. The total value of exempt outward supply of the society for the month of January. See, if you see here, according to my calculation here, according to my point of view, see here they are collecting 7,000 from the shops, right? So 7,000 rupees from the shops into 14. So total they have collected into 20 shops, total 1,40,000 they have collected. Then you should have taken it 7,000 rupees. So 7,000 rupees into how many flats? 7,000 rupees into 100 flats, it will come to 7 lakhs. Then you have interest also 75,000. So the answer should have been somewhere around 9,15,000, but I am unable to find the answer. I am unable to find the option. Why? Because why I have taken here only 7,000? Why I have not taken that? Why I have not taken 8,000 is because at the CFNL level you will learn one concept called pure agent. If someone is collecting from you the services as a pure agent, that will not be included in the value of supply. That was the logic. But according to the answer here, if I have to consider, if I have to give you proper answer, if I have to give an answer which is matching with the solution given there, see, if I calculate exempt supply, here I have 75,000. This is all anyhow exempted. So there is no question regarding that 75,000. Then whatever 7,000 that you have collected from the shops, that is also exempted. So 7,000 into 4 into 20 flats, which will come to 1,40,000, that is also exempted. Now what they might have considered is, they might have considered gross. Total 8,000 they have collected, no, everything is exempted. So might be they have collected here 8 lakh rupees, which is also exempted. And here from the 10,000 which has been collected, we are taxing only 8,500. The balance 1,500 we are not considering, no. That 1,500 into 100 flats is there, right? So if you include it, 1,500 into 100 flats, it will come to another 1,50,000. So now if I add the total here, so how much it will come to? So 8, if I do that calculation part, 5,000 I have, 7, 4 plus 4, 9, 9 plus 7, 16, then I have 10, 11 lakh 95,000 I am getting. How much I am getting here if I go by that logic? So 11 lakh 95,000 or 11 lakh 65,000. So just let me have a look here. Yeah, so 75,000 I have. Yeah, sorry. So it was my calculation mistake. So here the total will come to 11,65,000. So they might have considered this point of view, which is they are considering that excessive value beyond 7,500 also in the exempted category. So with that logic, they might have given the answer here as 11,65,000. Yeah, but it is somewhat linked with the CA final pure agent related concept. So we have to wait for the suggested answer. So let us wait for the suggested answer on this aspect. Okay. And also this thing, that shops related point also, that is what I strongly believe according to the provision. So let us wait for the suggested answers on these matters. So this is what regarding the MCQ part. Now if we talk about the descriptive part, so descriptive part purely I will give you grossly from where and all the questions has been tested. So as usual, the first question is regarding the calculation of tax liability, where they have tested various aspects, where they have linked various provisions relating to value of supply. They have related provisions relating to place of supply, exemptions related point also they have covered, and RCM related provisions they have covered. So like that, various chapters. It is a comprehensive question where they have covered all the input tax related, time of supply, exemptions, everything they have included. And finally, they have asked you to calculate the GST tax liability, which is required to be paid in cash. As usual, comprehensive question. Next one. Then we have one more question. So where they have asked us to calculate, once again, it is a comprehensive question covering the exemptions and time of supply. So this is regarding exemptions and time of supply. Both they have clubbed it together and they have given this question. Then we have next question, which is talking about ITC. So they are asking us to calculate the input tax credit available. So if the time permits us, we will do a detailed answers for the descriptive questions as well. So but for the time being now, I am giving you overview. Then we have one question talking about the place of supply. So place of supply for services, as we all are aware, very important. Even we have done that revision one day on that day before exam concepts also. So from there they have asked a question here. And then after that we have, so they are asking us to calculate aggregate turnover. This also I have covered in my day before exam, that small revision part. There also I have covered it. And also whether they are liable for registration or not. Then, right. So they have linked it with the applicable threshold limit, that provisions they have linked. Then we have a straightforward question regarding the e-way bill. So they have asked us to write about the e-way bill straight away provisions. Then one question we have from the payment of taxes, where they are asking us about rule number 86B, where 1% only you can discharge if your aggregate turnover exceeds 50 lakhs in a month and all. So that from payment of taxes they have asked it. And from returns, one chapter they have, in what circumstances the GSTR 1 will be barred. So that also we have covered in our classes in a detailed manner. From that they have asked one question. And also If you are a person making supply of the goods through e-commerce operator, you will be exempted from registration up to a particular threshold limit, subject to some conditions, like you have to get an enrollment number, you should not make any interstate supply, like that. We have a few conditions given under registration chapter, right? So that is where this question is relating to. So this is what the brief overview of the descriptive part, my dear students. Take care everyone. Bye.